praise you, Lord. I praise you, Lord. With every breath that I take, I will praise you, Lord. This promise I've made from eternity, yes, and forever again. Even then, I will praise you, Lord. Even then, I will praise you, Lord. I will praise you, Lord. With every breath that I take, I will praise you, Lord. This promise I've made, and eternity, yes, and start over again. Even then, I will praise you, eternity, and start over again. Even then, I will praise you, Lord. And start over again. Even then, I will praise you, Lord. Eternity, and start over again. Even then, I will praise you, Lord. Eternity, and start over again. Even then, I will praise you, Lord. Share of love, abuse, manipulated and strength to speak that I can help but give you glory. And I know about the story. And I know you favored me because my enemies they couldn't triumph over me. Yes, they did try, but couldn't triumph over me. It's like conspire, that's all their life for favors me. My time, my integrity, my faith in love, it favors me. Good
because of you that we are. Hallelujah. All this already spotting. At least I spotted 5 people. One of them was the best dressed gentleman or lady in the house. I spotted five persons already. Five persons. One of them best dressed. Hallelujah. 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 We thank God. Thank God for today. It's the day that the Lord has made. We rejoice and be glad in it. So today we want to speak etiquette. Who went and found out the meaning of etiquette in the dictionary? Is there anybody? Is there anybody who went to find out the meaning of etiquette? If you did and get it right, I'll give you chocolate. Or I'll find out the meaning of etiquette. And you tell me and you are right. And you tell me and you are right, I'll give you chocolate. So I remember our days in primary school. A teacher once asked, as he used to do, he asked a question. And when he asked a question, he asked somebody to ask. Nobody. So he said, okay. He started, he brought out the cane. And he said he was going to cane everybody. So if he gets your turn, he will ask you the question. Then, if you are not able to answer, then he gives you some lashes. So, whilst he was about starting, then one guy at the back raised a hand. So he told the guy that, don't answer. Don't answer the question. He said, come forward. Go line by line. Mention the answer the person into the person's ears. When you finish, give the person a knock. He said, you mention the answer, give the person a knock. And the thing was, the question was simple. That what is the name of coconut? In fact, he mentioned the Ghana name. What is the English name for coconut? So get the actual akushi before me there. What is the English name for coconut? The actual akushi before me there. Well, the guy gets to each person. He will mention the answer. They'll give you a knock. Mention that. Give you a knock. So when he finished, he said, okay. So now the whole class mentioned that. Don't forget the question. The question was, when he finished knocking, everybody said, okay. Now the whole class mentioned the answer. We all shouted, pineapple. This was like, hey! The guy was sitting by the window. Before we realized, he never came to school again in all his life. He never came to school again. Okay. You didn't know about the two gentlemen. The two gentlemen that were sitting across the beach. So the same coconut thing. Now, those days, this place is full of coconut trees. So, obviously, these were two guys who didn't go to school. Were big. I think. They get, oh, they pineapple. They get, hey, il a collé. Il a collé. So, if you can't teach them, confuse them. If you can't teach them, confuse them. It's like that. If you can't teach them, confuse them. So, I asked a question. Who can tell me the meaning of etiquette? Who found the meaning? Hey, when I said somebody took their phone, no, I answered the question. Hey, what's up? I asked the meaning of etiquette nowhere. Once I was talking there, they took their phone, phone the meaning. I'm like a Lee. I'm like a Lee. Suddenly, suddenly, I'm like a Lee. These days, if you joke, if you have the phone, the students, all they need is a watch. The watch is actually a phone. Everything is on the watch. These days, the watch you have, I'm sure you, the watch, everything is on it. Everything is on the watch. It's a phone actually. You can get WhatsApp, text message, everything on the watch. So these days, when I play people, you have to be extremely careful. That's the question. They are punchy. So now when we write exams, the students, they leave their watch, everything. It's getting to the time where even their shirt, they remove it. They're never sure what people will have, what they can do. So when we talk about etiquette, and we are privileged to have, ordinarily, sometimes when you don't know what you have, right, you never know what you have till you lose it. Because Ivy is here to speak to us, but Ivy is somebody that you have to pay to go and listen to her. You have to go and pay to listen to her. I don't want to tell them that she was one time Miss Ghana, but that's another story. Okay. That's another story. Well, you think she's a small girl? Hey! Her children are at the university. Her children are at the university. Yeah. Her children are at the university. Valentine is for them. Those ones, Valentine for them. For us, Father's Day for us, and Mother's Day. Valentine is for people like them. So she's here to speak to us on etiquette. I'm sure she will explain etiquette, what it is, and all of that. Where you are now, something has to change. Something has to give. Today, in fact, we'll have a full session on a Sunday, one of these Sundays. But today, she'll just introduce some few things to us to appreciate what we are talking about. Because if she will offload everything on us, some of us will run out of the room. We will learn to crawl before we walk. So she will take us through the basics. Then we'll create opportunity for other things. Then when she's done, we'll come back to do the best dressed gentleman, lady, and all the other things. So she will spend some time with us, some 30 to 40 minutes, talk to us. The deputy director, obviously, the deputy director at our place does a lot of stuff. If you hear about us, the things we write in the media, the project UPSA, he's in charge in doing all of that. He even runs a session for lecturers. How to eat, the way to use fork and knife, the way to do presentation, the way, which one is wine glass, which one is, me, I don't know the difference. A glass, they know only glass. Glass. She will tell you that, she will teach you that, hey, she will tell me that these socks you are wearing doesn't match the trousers. So I said, the socks, the BI socks. No, it has to go like this. This is the way you sit as a lady. This is the way you do things. This is a gentleman. This is the way you, all of that. That's a special, that's an area. She's done all this all the way to the US and back. She runs it for CEOs. The last time I attended, I think 2 years back, was for CEOs. These are MDs from the MDs you see big ones. She was running the training program for me. I was also a student, and I sat right under her feet to learn some of those things. He's here today to speak to us. We are privileged. We have some introduction, 30, 40 minutes to do that with us. He asks you a question, you should answer. All right? So let's welcome Miss Ivy Mills to do that for us. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Good evening, everyone. So much for being here. Valentine's Day, and one would have expected that you would be valentining somewhere else, but you've shown your love for God, your love for Christ by coming to church this evening. And it's such a privilege for me that you're spending. Once again, thank you very much. I told me Ivy Ward Mills can't check that on my bluff on your cafe. In bed, denche. Nakush. Told me Kushi Aduma. Can you be 250%? In the UK, I went to the hospital, and the lady behind the counter, about four of them, your counters. There were different people. So my German when I check back, when you go right here, Hewood Mills. Ivy Hewood from get yes. Anyway, well, thank you very much. I guess well, the idea is to have a chat with you about etiquette. Back in a theme, you find a mini theme, oh, that be theme, boy, didn't you? Find again, love in action. Well, it's all about love. And the perfect coincidence, Mene is a day for celebrating love. Hello. Love for our neighbors, love for ourselves, love for the special people in our lives, and love according to the mandates that Christ gives us. In Romans 13, verse 8. Okay, Jene minu wo yo ne. One here, it's only one here moko nyomo, noko mi beja love. It was my famo. Niji nungwa debo. One here le nyomo. Akeshi waba small. It is a mandate in your coincidentally, when rules of etiquette, it's all founded on principles are pure tenets of Christianity. Are you ever come about sound to my but very, very true. The fundamental principles of etiquette, it's founded on the four principles for me. Four cardinal principles. Noji noni underpin or noji noni etiquette rules are founded on it. Who knows the four cardinal principles? Who would like to share one of them with us? Anyone? Okay, one of them is courage. One of them is wisdom. One of them is justice. And the other one is temperance. Those are four cardinal principles there. And if we think about these cardinal principles, they are all in alignment with the Ten Commandments. They are all in alignment with the will of God for our lives. Now, out of Nakaim four cardinal principles there come the golden rule and the platinum rule. People often make reference to the golden rule. Who can share what the golden rule is with us? I'm sure somebody knows. Prof, you're part of the session though. So Prof taught me while I was studying for my MBA. He taught me marketing management. And I was too known in his class. And that's why I'm here today. So the golden rule. Who would like to share the golden rule with us? Yes, sir. I'm sorry, can you say it a bit louder? Exactly. Doing unto others what we would like others to do unto us. So treating others as we would like to be treated, right? That's one of the principles that underpin the rules of etiquette. The other principle, which is a notch up, is the platinum rule. And the platinum rule is doing unto others as they would wish you to do unto them. So treating others as they would want to be treated. Now, when you look at these two rules, treating people as you'd want to be treated and treating others as they would want to be treated, it points you in one direction. Respect for yourself and respect for others. And if you think about it, when you examine the rules of etiquette very, very closely across cultures, you would find that that is the one central theme that flows through. Once you're showing yourself respect in the midst of other people, and you're showing others respect, you would find that you are aligning with the rules of etiquette as pertains within their culture or as pertains within their environment. A lot of the time, we use etiquette and manners interchangeably, but they actually aren't one and the same. So, etiquette is a code of conduct. It's a code of conduct, it's a set of guiding principles within which good manners can flourish. So, for example, if you look at the rules of etiquette, they are not the same everywhere you go. So, depending on the culture, depending on the environment, the rules of etiquette vary. But good manners are good manners. And if you've got it in you to be well-mannered, no matter where you find yourself, you would want to be well-mannered, showing respect to yourself and showing respect to others in everything that you do. But the trick and the reason why it's so important for us to learn what we call etiquette is that when you understand how you're expected to behave within a certain environment, it's easier for you to show people respect as you're required to. So, for example, since today is Valentine's, let me use the whole relationship and love thing as examples today. So you meet a very fine lady who happens to be a member of the royal family in the UK. And it's love at first sight. Who's single here? Who is single and praying for a partner? The gentleman. Anyone single and praying for a partner? Or you're all taken? Hey, God is good. God is really, really, really touching lives in this church. Praise the Lord. So we'll just assume that one of you is single and searching, okay? Or let me go to the ladies then. Is there anyone who's single and praying for Prince Charming? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. What's your name, please? Irene. Okay, Miss Irene. So Miss Irene has been praying to God to bless her with a life partner, okay? And then Miss Irene meets this really nice person. She comes to church one day and she closes and she decides to go to lunch with her friends, where? Maybe La Palm, just across the street. Thought, oh, Valentine, why lunch here, La Palm after church. Kempinski rather. Ish, okay, Kempinski. Irene Kenya, you may come and lunch at Kempinski. Come yish ye come in a babote lobby and a can Irene trim ye full and a can. If freezer domotion, minis and a nice gentleman, Conena Leno, kept Holy Spirit, this is the one. Then no, when you were Irene Solomon to where he was. La one Irene, no, la one Musumish, and then a can freeze. Well, Benny Irene and thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus. Oh, long weekend, this is it. Thank you, God. If I bang Irene, I got sending me any major. Hey, Prince, your royal family and me, a UK. Hey, invite Irene. I can share my neighbor meet Queen. When Irene ba conduct a he. Eje Kenya, you may a local Jimmy, it can me what the when Irene ba conduct a here, Jemmy, I can Irene conduct a he Buckingham Palace. Because Buckingham Palace no buy an and may your protocols here, Jemmy. Protocol is another thing. We're back by his side. Protocol, who can etiquette, they are not the same. And may my protocols here, Jemmy. See, apart from Buckingham Palace protocols, within the English culture, there are acceptable codes of conduct. There are ways ni sani o conduct ohe. Nika moko nambwe. Oh, you are one of us. You get it? So it's important for us to understand. Once Irene has learned the rules of etiquette of various cultures, Irene, you meet a Prince Charming there from the royal family, hello, from the Saudi royal family, hello, Irene, Prince Charming, and England, I meet a family, Jamaica, no, a value said, Christian values, but in small, I'll pass. Thank you very much. Chikakeni ejajamene ya airport ene ya taplane mi nekeno akele royal so ekeba pe solemo ekwa target solemo jogba Holy Spirit and tune on her behalf and so it happens akashi money masene ya type in another royal she like je Saudi alo heko we never invite Irene akashi ba meet a family here boni Irene kasene ba behave nete England there alo boni ba behave kete Kumasi nete Mensha Palace na kind of ba behavior jeme. There are different expectations. So once you understand the rules that guide acceptable behavior in various cultures and various environments, not only does it boost your confidence, carry on here with confidence and authority. Ready. Some Bonnie Girl Guides a slogan there called "Be prepared." Dan, are you prepared? For hefe no baya alone no fan no ba fe. Itomo mokoni. Let's say carpenter. My carpenters usually come in here. At least can here no cry here pencil can notebook can tape measure. Dan, are prepared. Elaine opportunity back there. So it's important that you will buy equip with some of these pieces of information. So that if any wabaji koye, wabak carry wa hiojuba. Assuming akashi one of us in aspire akashi ibafe, the chief executive of multinational. Wani, it's okay no ba behave as you're a student. Alone no you don't really know them very well. See, as you aspire to the top, you need to equip yourself with the knowledge that would prepare you so that if when your conference Japan, no basha conference here Japan so no na no bad dress I no fail in a certain way. Not no come yening I no fail in a certain way. If we know ya ne all kasebana use your chopsticks alone when it comes to dining etiquette. Like a course jeme any bofan watashini akeshi I can near mama sushi. Chopsticks eba on a session you haven't had anything to eat so you're really starving. Aren't you having anything to eat? Oh, I'm very full. I had a lot at lunch. Now but no fake chopsticks oh into no ya hotel alone time no buy a jane I war restaurant take back biscuits feel no ka wo bag me ba wo ko ka homo ba wo e ka gbe no ba bi yesu aka mi ne we have mi ne we fe bu na kan. But you didn't prepare for the opportunity. One of the things nida nen ka say your prof I've known him for big brother ken papa ken boss ken no fan. One of the things nida nen ka say e kwa kashin le results no. You are no complain, no hale, no need problem, no problem, no back no problem. Mini G results, mini G noni o kamba no kamba present on like okay, this is the problem, this is the solution. What solutions it was esa ni wo mo, ni wo ba sha hekwo ni wo hefi wo. Na ni wo ba dwen oh ni ma me bo mo de chon me ne. But what you may forget is, if when a kind time, mommy didn't have the opportunity. You must be prepared. And that is why it's important that we take the trouble to learn the rules of etiquette so that it would equip us with the knowledge, the tool set. Any situation me know about you would carry yourself. in Tashini Kendi in Fawonu Neke. Obaka Aulana Kaka, fork and knife, allo, our lipo way, dear number nearby here. Because Nami Huni here chopsticks Neke. Or in your back, China, allo, Japan, allo, Hiko. So anywhere you push me, and it's not because I can for me. Maybe come any basically a wabaka say because a wabaka oh jouer yeni kayue. The rule is not called yeni kayue, it's kayue ni your dani mokubana. She called tashin oshe. Onupa jibo oshe martin ekwe a formal event koni yeni. Bena yeni bag basani. Ejo okay OUA beno ba election. Oh, after business deal, say, "Well, me na yeni ata dani o you sani." Me na ba yeni ata a close deal no ona ko no gbele ona abuko. In our culture, ba ka call yeni e. Ayi. Ki sani o ekwepo hekono no shishi akeshi. Levels ko me ko she ke hey ko me ko she. Onye no ka akeshi. Oh, me ganyo form obi jimi. Yen shi ake neke. Yeah, we're competing with the entire world. We're competing with the world. So we should be able to survive and thrive in the global environment. And I know all of us in this room are aspiring to be great people. Well, God hasn't finished with us. There's so much more opportunities. So we must be prepared. Because favor and it will make sure preparation. Because now opportunity, no be prepared for it. You were just not prepared. So that is why we're going to be spending time. Like Prof said, usually when we do these things, people would pay money to attend. And they can't, in training, the Protocol School of Washington. I'm licensed to teach their curriculum. It will become other parts of the world, on their behalf. Hello, you didn't change around on my courses. It will call back in courses when I can. Only much on by call from Washington, call hip lane. We are book hotel, buying German for 2 weeks, whatever, depending on course, no tower, no fee, even if it's a short course. The same thing, the same curriculum, same content, everything, if I would. And it's such a valuable gift. Me Prof in town was share. It was bini about arranged about face sessions and about in depth there. I would appeal to all of you to be here and invite your friends. It's not going to cost you anything at all, but you'd walk away with a lot of value addition to your lives and to yourselves. See? You would even extend it, the multiply effect. Obi kabacho onyamiko alone nefe no baya ekwajeni moko jeni o jegbepo aka o chombo oni bon ba akwabo body o conduct o hekenya moko hu ka ba kaseni. And as Christians it's our mandate akashi wo nife mo fa ba fa exemplary when you ba here wo he when you ba fa wo no fa no moko akwa wo ne ka ke ola na wa ola ne ka Christopher nyojile no posa na enya na attract moko ne ba so wo all the good things we are blessed with here. Following Christ is worth it. And there are so many additional gifts that come with it. Maybe comment on more when you was away. Etiquette is not only about table manners. Etiquette, no, then the first thing that comes to mind is table manners. Like I said, etiquette and manners are not the same. There's dining etiquette. Dining etiquette for it's a very, very broad spectrum of pieces of knowledge. For example, danenko me akashi. Okashi awula lo lajibu. Le etiquette. Nakaboya tafufu ise no kwa wale petran ko le etiquette. Because for free yali etiquette GN. Oko wa bia no ba fa no ba no chi ole fufu yali etiquette ojuba. Chinakaino hunikeje kwa to ya ta salad ko se. Wani waka wani ne ba ye wache ya ba mi ne ngo. Ni ote, formal setting ko no ta salad ko se. No ba fork, the right fork no ba fork and the right knife no ba fork. But no ba ye lo ha. Salad ne ke ko ye aflo. leaf no family or mini da, you fold it, you don't cut it. And there's a way of doing it. At a table now how soup. The way you would drink the soup, what the direction no bad or one way. Like about here, like the opposite direction. And there's a reason behind it. And a lot of these things, if I were to tell you the historical antecedents, the reasoning behind those behaviors, common sense, and it really makes sense. Once you go through these things and you learn them, you realize that this makes sense. I actually know this already. Well, they're not only much rocket science. We are clueless. We have no idea. But it's all things that we just need. Sometimes all it takes is mokobagla ojemo. Just draw your mind to it, and then you'll realize that it actually makes sense, and it's actually a practical way of doing things. The same way, Keji Asia, let's say China, and you're sitting at table. Oh, you need no chowder, smacking your lips and burping at the table. It's perfect table manners for them. But if you went and did that in the West, whether in an American dining setting or in say English dining setting or even in continental dining setting, it's not polite. So you might think, it's not polite. Because the Chinese either he or she failed to impress you or you are just not a gracious guest. So it's just a matter of knowing these nuances so that wherever we find ourselves, we would thrive and we would shine. It's just the same, Tomoboni. You would go to work maybe wearing a suit or wearing, what I call the African or the traditional suit, like what Prof is wearing, or wearing a three-piece suit or something. And that's okay. But call your beach no one I can't get there. You leave a bit to be desired. And in the same way that it's okay to wear a bikini on the beach, but you can't wear the bikini to church. Why? It's just not proper to do that. It's not appropriate. And there's every reason why it's not appropriate to do that. But it doesn't mean that wearing a bikini is wrong. And it also doesn't mean that wearing a suit is wrong. But it's just knowing the right place for the right behaviors where it's acceptable. And that is all that we need to learn. So it's very important to know some of this. Even within our marriages, showing respect for ourselves and respect for our partners. Sometimes I'm like, oh, this is how we do things. Oh, this is how I like it. But sometimes the way that we behave violate the principles of other people. You're set in doing things a certain way. It's important that we learn what the nuances are for the cultures and the families and the homes and the way that other people do their things so that we can show respect to them. You've married someone whose family decide that your favorite tunes that's my thing. That is a total violation of the person's principles. It's disrespect to the person. So the rules of etiquette generally draw your mind to that place where you're always looking out for not an opportunity to show respect for someone per se, but it keeps you mindful of other people and what they value. And people value different things. So if you're mindful of your etiquette in whatever situation you find yourself, the first thing that comes to your mind is what's acceptable and what is not. For example, if you invited an Indian business associate to your home to have a meal, and this person is a Hindu, and the person doesn't eat beef, once you understand that this person is if you're not that attuned to your etiquette intelligence, you might not even ask yourself that question. But when you are, one of the questions you'd ask yourself is what is appropriate and what is proper for this person based on where they're coming from. So once you understand that, this person that you're hosting at home is a Hindu, you would know not to put beef on the table. Once you know that you're inviting a Christian to your home at Easter, and maybe one kind of meat or whatever is your favorite, and in that person's faith, maybe on Good Friday they do not eat meat, you would not serve them meat. It's just a matter of just keeping your mind, to the things that are respectful to other people, so that you would always be on the right side of things. At work also, when we relate with our colleagues at work, once we understand where they are coming from, let's say you work in a multinational or a cross-cultural environment, and you've got an Arab lady in your office who wears her hijab, okay? In their culture, as a man, you do not offer a woman a handshake. If your knowledge of etiquette is heightened, you would know that as a gentleman, when you walk into the office and you're shaking hands with the other ladies there, you won't go and do that with her. You'll just say your hello and treat her with respect and everything. If you find yourself in, say, France or anywhere in Europe, a handshake is acceptable. A handshake is expected. But if you find yourself somewhere, let's say you went to a meeting in Dubai, and the people you went to meet, gentlemen and ladies, you would greet the gentleman by handshakes, but you would not offer a handshake to the lady, because in their culture, it's not acceptable. And you don't want to start off on the wrong foot. If you're going to negotiate a business deal for your company and you go and you're violating all of their cultural norms, already you've killed it for yourself. If you had to have a meeting with some Chinese people and they said, oh, let's have this meeting and discuss this proposal of yours over lunch. If you arrive at that lunch and they pick up their chopsticks and you pick yours up, and you know some of the little things that they do at table, and you're behaving just like them, proposal, halfway it's been accepted. Because if they were dining with another person to talk about these things, and that person, held their own, oh, me, I'm a Ghanaian, so this is how I do my thing. Already they are associating with you. They're feeling like, oh, this person is one of us. So it's easier. It breaks ice. It becomes an icebreaker in itself, and it creates opportunities for you and opens doors and windows for you that may otherwise not have been available to you. Those are some of the things that we need to be very, very mindful of. And when we have a lot more time, I think I've even exceeded my time slot. So once we have a bit more time, we would go into detail. We'll talk about acceptable dress code. Sometimes we get invited to places and the invitation says black tie. And we're thinking, oh, red, yellow, blue. I really don't have a black tie. But black tie doesn't mean necessarily wear a black tie. It's a code. So understanding the code in total will help you to pick out what to wear. And when it says black tie has a meaning and has implications for women as well. So there are expectations. If it says white tie, then you know that is the highest level of formality. If it says business casual. So we get confused sometimes by all these little things. And it's really not our fault that we get confused. It's like a language. So the rules of etiquette and the rules of protocol, they are like a language. So we'll spend some time and we will learn this language so that wherever we go, we can speak the right language for people to understand and appreciate us, and for us also to put our best feet forward so that we would be able to show respect to others while showing respect to ourselves, according to the tenet of Christianity, which implores us to love and respect one another. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you very much.
They will come to church, but they will come late. I told you. When she got here, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I said, oh, they will come, but they will be late.
And that is one of the things that violate the rules of etiquette across the board in every culture. Punctuality is quite important. It's very, very important, especially for us who are aspiring to the top. Those of us, all of us, in fact, who are praying that God will open opportunities for us and take us all the way to the top, to the praise and glory of His name. That's one of the things that we need to be mindful of. The traffic is bad, yes, but...
So, what we intend to do, actually, Beg it. That's our leverage. So use it well. Actually have sessions, either a Sunday or a Thursday. We have sessions that she will come and actually teach us business etiquette, social etiquette, take us through all of that. This church is going somewhere. We are going somewhere, but we are not there at all. Yeah. So we have to take our time, one step after the other, and we get there. So we are bringing professionals, Christian professionals, to help us take it to the top. All right? That's why we are taking our time to do this. So I said, we should not introduce it because we are going to have time. Because put some chocolate. So we've got to do that as well. So this is our introduction. But let's take 3 questions. There are 3 questions. If the question is for the next session, we will let you that. Any question at all? 3 persons, 3 questions, then she can take a seat. 3 questions. First question, it's always difficult to ask the first question. So let's say that the first question has been asked, and the second one. The first one has been asked, the second one. Okay, who's the second question? First one is sorted out. Quickly. Yeah, Rabita, yes. I was going to ask. They will go and take our time. Black. All right.
You're not the only person who is confused at all. A lot of us get confused a lot of the time until we've taken the trouble to understand it. So, like I said, it's a language. It's a code. Okay, it's coded language. So when you say black tie, and when we actually have a full session, I will demonstrate for you to see. I'll show you pictures if possible. We can even have a model or two to show us what black tie looks like. So black tie doesn't literally mean black tie. Black tie is a certain level of formality. So white tie is the highest level of formality. For example, and I'll give you 2 examples. I'll give you a Western example and an African example as well. So if you were looking at white tie within the Western context, that would be, for example, the president of Ghana is visiting the Queen of England, and there's a presidential ball that's held in his honor. If you've observed, you would see that the Queen would wear a gown, she would wear the most grand of her crowns, she would be in gloves, she would have, it's full formality, okay? And then the president, you would find that the president of Ghana or the president of the US, whoever the guest is likely to be wearing a white bow tie. And they'll be wearing a tuxedo and very, very, very formal. Now, if you take it a notch down, sorry, let me give the African example as well. So if you were when you think of rich culture, the first place that my mind would go to would be Ashanti. So if Otumfuo were hosting some very important personalities, you would notice that on that occasion, he would be wearing the most grand of his kente, typically very colorful. When you see it, you can tell this is a special one. And then he would have his crown on, and he would have all the jewelry, etc. But then, when it's like a normal akwesidai, maybe one of the big akwesidais, you would find that the kind of cloth he would wear, when you look at the two, you see that there's a difference. It's not as regal, and he won't have all the gold on him like he would, probably during an installment or something. So if you look at it very closely, you'd notice that the levels of formality differ. It's the same way that in the West also, when it's a black tie event. So let's say President Obama, one of my favorite presidents of all time. So President Obama, when he visited the Queen, if you notice the images that came out, when they had that grand ball, he had on a white bow tie and his black tuxedo with a white waistcoat in there. Very formal. His wife had a very formal gown on with gloves, even the way that your hair is done. Even for the ladies, even the handbag that you carry. The smaller your bag, the more formal it is. So if you're invited to a black tie event, please don't carry your normal handbag. Don't carry a big bag. Anyway, so those are the things that distinguish the level of formality, okay? So black tie just means a notch down. So you can wear a dark tie, which is not necessarily black. You can wear a navy blue suit, for example. You can wear the shirt you're wearing. You can wear a dark suit that has, or a dark tie that blends very well with your outfit. Have a nice pocket square. Even the formality of your shoes will determine whether there's a white tie occasion or whether it's appropriate for a black tie occasion. And then you can have a cocktail. You can have an event where it may not necessarily be a cocktail in itself, but the dress code would say cocktail. That also means something. So the kind of way that you are expected to appear over there is different from when it says black tie. But the trick is always err on the side of formality. It's better to be overdressed than underdressed because it's very disrespectful to be underdressed. Imagine your good friend inviting you to his wedding or her wedding. And so for a wedding, it's typically black tie, minimum. For a wedding, because it's formal. It's somebody's special day. You want to make them feel special. You're dressing up for them to make the occasion grand. So somebody invites you to a wedding, and then you show up in a pair of jeans and a t-shirt. Would that be showing respect to the bride and groom? Especially when you got an invitation that is so nice and it has plenty gold, and my grandmother used to say affefrements. The design is all that, and then you decide to go in a pair of jeans and a t-shirt. It's very disrespectful to them, right? So even the invitation you receive can give you an indication of the level of formality if you've taken the time to learn some of these things. Okay? And there are times when you say, oh, business casual, or business formal, or smart casual. What do all of those things mean? It doesn't necessarily mean that you're looking for an outfit that says smart casual, or an outfit that says black tie. But as I said, it's a code. It's a coded description. They can't put all the details of the description in there. So they take that code, and the expectation is that if you're at a place in life where you'll be invited to a black tie event, they expect that you understand. So it's like somebody coming to UPSA, knowing that it's a university environment, it's an institution of higher learning. When the person comes and the person speaks a certain level of English with me in the Public Affairs Directorate, I shouldn't now be sitting there looking confused. Because if I have the qualifications that place me in that position, then I should understand what the person is saying. It's just like when a doctor is having a conversation with another doctor and they use some medical terms. You may not understand, but the doctor expects his fellow doctor to understand. You get it? So all those things are codes, and when it's spoken to you, if you don't have anything to do with those things and you say you don't understand it, then it's fine. But even if you don't at the moment, the expectation and your prayers, you pray that God should elevate you, you're expected to be at that level someday. So it's a matter of being prepared. Once you understand the language, it's like understanding English well to pass your exam, or understanding Ga well enough and being able to write it to pass your exam.
Okay, we'll come there. Yes. It's just the beginning. We are coming to school. We have a lot to do. Okay. The next question. Wendy.
We go out with.
I know you.
Okay.
That's the example you will give. If it's not a guy, who else will you mention? Okay, go ahead. Who told him mapping? Sorry, answer.
So it depends on where you find yourself. And to answer your first question, yes, the rules change. The rules are very dynamic. They're not cast in stone. They change according to cultures. They change according to, whatever environment you find yourself in. There will be rules that apply. The 50-50 rule you're talking about, that's actually what's called the Dutch date. So the name alone will tell you where it emanates from. Okay, so when you go on a Dutch date, you're splitting the bill. But in a lot of social settings, it is expected that he who invites pays. So in some parts, if you're the one who invited me out, I may be as we say, I'm sitting somewhere thinking about my a roasted plantain and nkatia that I ate this afternoon, minding my own business. And then you come and say to me, you and Irene come and say, let's go to Kempinski. And I want to be polite. So I say, oh, okay, thanks for the invitation. I'm coming along. You can't take me to Kempinski and watch me eat all the the soakins with nkatia in it, and then you expect me to pay what? How much is it? 350 cedis. So you can't take me to go and eat soakins in Kempinski when I'm sitting somewhere in UPSA minding my business, going to spend my 2 cedis to buy my ebroni nkatia and expect me to pay. That would be so wrong on your part. So if you're inviting me, then you should. In some cultures also, it's the gentleman who is expected to pay. So even if you're inviting him out, once he's the gentleman, he's paying. So in Revival Outreach Church, seeing us, it's the only church whose pastor is a professor and my boss. Gentlemen, when you invite the ladies out, please be a gentleman. Today somebody shared a very interesting photograph, and I had such a good laugh because it was a photograph of some street hawkers who had something, I don't know exactly what it was, maybe chocolates or something, I'm just guessing, but it was nicely wrapped up, and they were selling it in traffic. And my sisters and I who were looking at this image, we were all like, hey, as for this one, no excuse for the men. Even if you say you've forgotten, they are catching you in traffic. So please, if you didn't get anything for your wife, on your way home, in the traffic, you'll find somebody selling something. So yes, it does. It's not cast in stone, depending on where you are, and do what feels right and shows respect to the other person. If you think the gentleman who has invited you to Kempinski can't afford the soakings, that's 350, and you've got 500 in your purse, you can offer to pay a bit. But if he goes to Revival Outreach Church, he's definitely not going to have you lift a finger. He would treat you like a queen.
They were looking for their red to wear. They didn't find it early, so they just got here. They are welcome.
Oh, and let me make a confession. So this is the very first time in my life that I've worn something red on Valentine's Day. So today I was trying to impress the young people here.
Last question. As I said, we'll have proper session. We'll have proper session. Proper one. Last question. So when you ask already, let somebody else. Unless there's nobody else.
Maybe somebody hired her as a lawyer.
Oh
yeah, so fine. Ganyo crunch. Jimmy, what do I lie?
Yes, last one. Okay, if there's when you can ask your question. But there's somebody there. Richard, are you asking a question? Okay. No, Richard, go ahead.
If she attends ROC and her pastor is Professor Abednego Oko Amate, the fine gentleman who is my boss at UPSA, she will not do that. She will never do that. She's a lady. A lady after God's own heart. She knows that if you invite her, she won't ask you for takeaway for her roommate. It's her and you. So please feel free. The Holy Spirit is behind you.
There's a Legon. Hey, he said, you go and buy, you have saved. You go and buy for it. He said, what about my roommate? Hey, what I used to buy the Kelly, the entire week money. You think it's a joke? All right, we have time for that. You can see that the way they have come.
Yes,
we'll have time for it. We'll do it proper. This is just to introduce us to see that we have a long way to go. But each of us, like she said, nobody was born etiquette. We all do what? Learn. So anytime she speaks, I learn something. So you take us through, we are going to learn. Every time you hear somebody speak, there's something to learn. You are going to learn from her as we go through these stages. Hello? So relax. We'll get there. We'll get there.
And next time I come, in fact, on one of the occasions, I won't even come alone. I'll come with one of my sisters, who is also an etiquette expert. And she specializes in other things as well, and she'll have a lot to share with me.
And they'll do
pray
role
for
play.
me while I go and ask her.
I remember the other time we did role play where you call a gentleman and a lady, and they are seated, even to serve a table. We'll go to please go and buy food. Then we'll bring the two together right here. Then they will be eating, and then we are watching. Wow. All of those things take place. All right. Thank you so much. Give a round of applause. Thank you so much. We are starting. Okay.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right. So, as I said, we'll do it properly. It's just now. I'm holding some things in my hands. Plenty, but we don't have time, so I'll do just two. If you are bold and you want to do it, you pick from my hand. Whatever you pick, I explain to you, then you do it. So, yes, whatever you pick, I will explain it to you, then you do it. So we'll just do it to you. Any bold person here? Any bold person? Pick from my hand. Whatever you pick, I explain to you, then you do it. You're coming. Oh, I know you're coming. Yeah, who is coming? Hey! In fact, I can't go and kill somebody. There's nothing like that in it. I mean, whatever is in there, you can do it. Yes. One board, clap for him. What does he say? Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. So give him, give him a microphone. Let him act like Michael Jackson. Do something Michael Jackson. Yes, where's the phone? Where's the microphone? Give it to him quickly. Let him do something Michael Jackson. Yes. Yehovah. Something Michael Jackson. Yeah. Yes, that's right. One more applause for him. Yes. Especially for the moonwalk. For the moonwalk. Okay, who is coming? The stage is set. Who is coming? Who is coming? Yes. Yeah, you two come. Yes. Yes. That's right. That's right. That's right. Oh, you picked two. Okay, so what did he say? Listen to music. Behave like you are listening to music. Behave like you are at work, you are listening to music. Oh, you are lying on your bed listening to music. Behave like you are listening to music. Give it to him. That's right. Please come. Yes. Oh, clap for her. Clap for her. What is there? Driving a car. Okay. So drive a car for us to see. drive a car for us to see. They will know whether you are driving. I can see that you have not sat beside her. Who is next? You are looking sporty. Hey, you move back down. Don't go by me. Okay. Yeah. Talking on the phone, Isabu. Who is next? Who is next? That's right. You know. Running on a treadmill. Do you know what a treadmill is? What a treadmill? Eh? What a treadmill? Okay, back go. Surfing the channel. Late. Okay. Oh, and I get disappointed. Who marry? Hello, if you are falling in love, I say, you're disappointed. Okay, disappointed. Disappointed. Okay, final one. That's right. Those, those, those in charge of drama, we are getting members for drama. Yeah. Members for drama. You can see plenty talent. Join the drama group. At all costs. It's a rough time. Last one. Linda, join the drama group. Last one. Last one. Last one. The way you are watching television, you are holding the remote control. But that one is not challenging. So let me take that one. That one is so easy. Singing. Oh, no, okay, singing. You are single already, so we'll go and sit down. Okay. Now, we are going to look at the best dressed gentleman, best dressed lady. I will nominate, then you will vote. So as I move through the crowd, I'm going to nominate. May Babi here, overvote. Hello. Where is Rich Love? Because the way I saw it, where is Rich Love? Come. Yeah, Rich Love, come. Priscilla, come. Priscilla is outside. I've seen Priscilla. Priscilla, come. Priscilla, come. Johnson, come. Yes. Give him fans. Why Rich Love? Rich Love, where is she? Where is Rich Love? Where is Rich Love? Go and bring her and then bring Priscilla. Then Vincent, come. Then that was here. Come. Kezia. Yes, come. Yes, go there. So much trouble, but not for years. So much trouble. Yes, yes, then you. Yes, the two of you. You too. Also much trouble. Go see. Oh yes, sir. Yes. Yeah, Vincent, you too. Yes. I'm nominated. Then you vote. Hey, Vincent, come. Where is Priscilla? I saw Priscilla. I should go down. Bring her. Hey. Yes. Come. This one, nobody should question me. The men should be here. The lady should be here. The men. Yes. You. This one, my own criteria. Priscilla, yes. Come. Yeah. Okay. Do you agree with my choices? You agree with my choices? Okay. So you are the ones going to vote. If the person is staying, the way you shout, they will determine. This one by shouting. Voting by shouting. Okay, all right. So if you step forward, then we hear the shout. Then I will determine. Okay. So the name is Joshua is here. If you think Joshua is the best dressed gentleman, give it a shout. Okay, I've determined. If you think Johnson is the best dressed gentleman, let's say. If you think it's Vincent, give it a shout. If you think it's this gentleman, give it a shout. Okay, thank you very much. So, I'll declare the results very soon. All right. Hey, this place has to be difficult too. All right, you are the ones voting. The name is. The Kezia is here. Yes. This bitch laugh, yes. I'm confused. What's the name? Amani. Yes. What's the name? Tina is here. Vicentia is here. Yay! Yes. Yes. I know the winner. Then Dosia is here. Then Priscilla is here. By my judgment, Vicentia has won. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. It's obvious that Johnson is a winner. Yeah. So, for your prize, you give us a dance. So, okay. So for all those that we nominated, have the courage to come here. All All right. Who wants a chocolate? Who wants a chocolate? Hey, if show by hand, do you want a chocolate? Hey, let me see by hand. You want a chocolate? So, all the mothers who are here, please come for chocolate. All the mothers who came. Anybody who is a mother here, please come. Eh, somebody to help me. Please, Ivy, please help me to. Take your time. Easy. Easy. All the mothers. Hey. Okay, you do a line, come. Do a line. This way. So we can get and then give to them. Yes. All the mothers. I have some here. All the mothers. Okay, so we're done with the mothers. If you are in red, and you have not gotten a chocolate, you are in red, you not got a chocolate. Come and receive a chocolate.